Hi, my name is Evan Medeo, and this is Honor Yoga Now. Today, I'm going to be going over the back bend camel pose. So before we get started with camel pose, what you want to make sure that you do is you've opened up the shoulders, the thighs, and the back. Yeah? So once you're ready, once you're warm, let's come to the mat. And if you have them, grab a couple of yoga blocks, or you can also use some books. We're aiming, though, for bringing the knees hips width distance. So whatever you're using, make sure that it's sufficiently wide or sufficiently narrow. So one block in between the knees, one block in between the ankles, and let's come onto our knees. All right. So to begin, in camel, I'm going to begin with baby camel. Thumbs come to the sternum. Sternum presses back up against the thumbs. Elbows are nice and wide. And we take the collarbones and we widen those out, bringing the shoulders back onto the back. Now, we're going to first lengthen through that spine, taking a nice long head and neck, looking up towards the sky. And then exhale, come back to center. That's just to give us an idea of where we're going. So let's talk about some of the things that tend to happen here in camel pose when we're not aware of our alignment. So first off, very easy to just drop that neck back and feel and think that we're doing a back bend here. Right? We're gazing up, that's for sure, but you've taken the entire bend and you brought it into the neck, which is going to create a lot of tension. Another thing that we tend to see a lot here is that when you begin to lean back, you take those hips with you. Right? Now, taking the hips with you puts a lot of strain and pressure here, especially in the front of the thighs. We want to bring the bend into the back, and we do that by taking those hip points, drawing them more forward, and then lengthening out through the back and the neck here at the same time. All right. Another tendency that we see without a block is that the knees come very wide and the back bend becomes unstable and unsupported as you come back. Right, so let's keep those knees together. Hips width distance. So you can begin to play yourself with where do I place the block, what height, find what's right for you. Use the block in between those knees and use the other block in between the ankles as a reminder to hug into the middle. So hands come back to the sternum, sternum presses against the hands. Let's do another baby camel here, baby back bend. Inhale, lengthen up, look up towards the sky as you take a nice long neck, backing up behind you. Press the sternum against the thumbs. Keep the hip points moving forward. Exhale, come back to center. Let's try that again. Inhale, lengthen as you press. Sternum into thumbs, thumbs into sternum. Keep the knees working in towards the middle against the block. Nice long neck as you take the gaze even more and more up to the ceiling. Exhale, come back to center. All right, let's try a few variations here. So, variation one, you can take the hands back. And here, you can come up to the mounds of toes if you'd like. That can provide a bit of height and also some good stability. You have to keep the feet flexed, working on the mounds of toes in order to achieve this. Right, so let's show that variation here. Take the left hand back behind, take the right hand back behind, take these hip points, work them up to the front, creating the nice curve here in the lumbar and the thoracic spine. As I bring the shoulders in towards each other, widening out the collarbones, I lengthen through my neck, crown of the head reaching back behind me, and I'm breathing. One more breath. Exhale. Come back to center, keeping a nice long neck the entire time. Now let's try it with tops of feet down. Coming in, moving in towards those blocks. Knees or hips width distance. And so here we can again come to the heels, the hands. Shift these hip points forward, bringing the bend into the back. The hips are stacked up over the knees. The heart is opening up to the ceiling as the shoulder blades come in towards each other and the collarbones widen. I then lengthen out through the neck, taking the gaze fully up
and perhaps even back as I take even more and more of a back bend here. Exhale, come back up to center. Hands come to the center of the heart. Let's take a moment to sit down, stretch out the thighs. You can even take Virasana here. Come back up here towards kneel. Let's take one of my favorite variations here. So in this variation, I'm going to take a block, bring it right here. I'm going to leave my ankles the way that they are. Shift this one back. Tops of feet are down. I'm going to take my left hand, bring it back behind to the left ankle. I'm going to take the right arm, reach it out in front of me first. Hips, again, stacking over the knees. I'm going to take the right arm, I'm going to cross it out in front of me so my right fingers are pointing to the left. And then I'm going to swing that arm back so that the fingers are pointing back behind me. I'm going to lengthen my neck at the same time. Hips are pointing to the front. Gaze is up to the ceiling. And then I'm going to take that right hand and take it to the top of the right heel. And then I'm going to take that left hand. I'm going to bring it out to the side. I'm going to reach it back behind. Gaze follows. And I'm going to take it to the top of the left heel. Again, flowing through. You can make it faster, as long as you bring mindful attention and focus. One arm at a time, opening up one side at a time. The neck continues to be long. The hips continue to reach forward. When you're ready, come back to center, hands come to the center of the heart. Sit back in Vajrasana, which is heels underneath you, or Virasana, which provides more of a thigh stretch. Center. And release. Thank you for joining me for this brief how-to with Camel Pose. Namaste.